Is Kim Kardashian responsible for all the UFO sightings? Why has Ricky Gervais attacked Sam Smith? And what is going on with the Kanye West police incident? I'm gonna answer all these questions in this video, so stick with me. First up, Kim Kardashian revealed the newest Skims collection swimwear campaign last night, and the trippy alien-themed photos had some fans wondering if she might be behind some of the recent UFO sightings in North America. Photos show her surrounded by models wearing extraterrestrial heads, posing behind her in what looks like a living room, as well as by the pool of a mansion. In another shot, Kim leans against a neon yellow sports car, with a pink blow-up alien peeking out behind her in the garage. Some fans seem to think that it was awfully coincidental that the new campaign showcased otherworldly creatures after several UFOs were spotted in the United States and Canada. The photo shoot sent Twitter spiraling. Someone tweeted, "That's why the UFOs came. All of these UFOs shot down to prep us for the Skims swim launch. It all makes sense now." Another person wrote, "Kimmy rescued some of the aliens before their UFO got shot down. Protect ET at all costs." All jokes aside, the campaign definitely seemed to be capitalizing on all the alien madness that's going on these days. If you didn't know, UFO sightings in the US are on the rise. That's right, there's been an increase of identified flying objects being spotted over North America, and it's causing a bit of a panic. Yesterday, the Pentagon released a report claiming that nearly 400 additional UFO sightings have been recorded in the past year, bringing the total number to 510 since 2004. The 366 additional ones were either new or discovered in the files. Of these new additional sightings, 26 have been characterized as drones, 163 as balloon-like objects, and 6 as aerial clutter. That leaves 171 unexplained, and apparently they exhibited unusual flight characteristics. 4 flying objects of vastly different shapes and sizes have been shot down by US authorities in less than 2 weeks, and while one of them was confirmed to be a Chinese balloon, the other 3 remain a mystery. It didn't take long for UFO discussion forums to light up with theories about the origins of these floating entities. No one knows if they're sent by intelligent life forms from outer space or if there is another explanation. To make matters worse, the US Air Force General, who is responsible for overseeing North American airspace, said that he was not ruling out aliens. He said, "I haven't ruled out anything. At this point, we continue to assess every threat or potential threat that approaches North America with an attempt to identify it. We're calling them objects, not balloons, for a reason." That ominous sentence sent people into an existential crisis. Now, experts have said that the UK could also be about to see a wave of sightings, thanks to its renewed interest in extraterrestrial contact. Joe McGonigal, one of the UK's leading UFO researchers, said, "I don't doubt extraterrestrial life exists. I think statistically there's a very high probability that it does. But I do doubt very much that it's actually visiting Earth." After studying many unexplained sightings, he said that some things were destined to remain a mystery, even if it was human nature to fill in the blanks. He went on to say, "There are things which on the face of it can't be explained immediately, but there's still 1,001 possibilities of what they could be, not just alien spaceships." But the uptick in reported sightings could also be because of the reduced stigma surrounding the issue. In 2021, 2 US Navy fighter pilots came forward with their story. They said that they were investigating a sensor anomaly off the coast of San Diego in 2004 when they saw something that they couldn't explain. A churning patch of white water on the ocean's surface and a tic-tac looking object that appeared to be hovering on its own. This was a massive deal because for several years only one of the 2 pilots spoke out about the encounter, but eventually the second pilot, who was also on the scene, publicly corroborated the incident. Not only that, but the Pentagon actually acknowledged their UFO video was legit. But apart from aliens, there could be other explanations for the increase in sightings. The New York Times spoke to an expert who reported that at any given moment, thousands of balloons are above the Earth, and a lot of them are used in the US by government agencies, military forces, and independent researchers. But not many people realize just how crowded the skies have become with these high-flying balloons. Apparently, each year, around 6,000 of them are launched just by the National Weather Service. They're designed to rise into the stratosphere around 20 miles up before bursting at the highest point and breaking into fine debris. But some of them are underinflated and they never fly high enough to burst, which means they just wander around aimlessly with the wind. So that's also what these mystery flying objects could be. So what do you guys think? Are we getting invaded by aliens, or are people just jumping to conclusions? And now Ricky Gervais has made it clear that he does not support Sam Smith. The comedian has left fans divided after he mocked Sam Smith's appearance at the Brit Awards. The singer hit headlines and inspired countless memes after they wore a black custom inflatable latex bodysuit with massive arms and legs. Ricky then weighed in on the outfit by photoshopping his own head on Sam's body, and implied that they were seeking attention just by wearing the outfit. He posted the photo on Twitter and wrote, "The worst thing about being famous is a lack of privacy. I can't even walk down the street without people looking and pointing." While a lot of people liked and reshared the tweet, it really didn't go down too well with everyone. One person commented, "I must say, much as this guy isn't my cup of tea, it doesn't bother me what he's up to. In fact, I only see things about him from older men who seem increasingly upset about what younger generations are doing. This stuff happened in your generation too. Did you know that, Grandpa?" In response, Ricky wrote, "Bit ageist." The other people that defended Sam used the opportunity to compare them to iconic stars like David Bowie, who is also very creative and daring with their wardrobe choices. Another user wrote, "I agree, Bowie is far superior to Sam Smith in terms of talent, and the talent can't be compared. That's not to say that the idea of shock factor can't be. Even Jagger used to wear dresses." While Ricky Gervais is obviously just having a bit of a joke, it does feel a little bit like he's kicking someone when they're down. Last week, Sam Smith said that they were spat at after they publicly came out as non-binary in 2019. The singer sat down with Apple Music's Zane Lowe and revealed that it caused them to struggle with their public life and their job. Apparently, while they were out and about in the UK, someone spat at them in the street. Sam said, "What I find hard about this is like, if it's happening to me and I'm famous, I'm a pop star, can you imagine what other kids, like queer kids, are feeling? And it's just so sad that we're in 2023 and it's still happening. It's exhausting, and especially in England." Not only that, but a few days ago, Sam was savagely heckled in New York City, and it was all caught on video. The clip was posted on social media on Wednesday and has since gone viral. The singer was walking down the street when an irate woman started screaming that they belong in hell. The whole thing was extremely confronting. The woman can be heard screeching and calling them demonic, sick, and twisted. She calls them evil and accuses them of being a predator, while everyone on the street just watches. Sam does his best to ignore her and walks towards the entrance to Central Park Zoo. To make matters worse, people in the comment section of that video had very little sympathy for the singer, and it seems like they found the whole incident funny. This all went down after Sam's controversial performance at this year's Grammys, alongside Kim Petras. The two singers did a satanic-themed performance of their hit song Unholy, and it had many conservative commentators in a panic. Sam started the song in red leather with a top hat with red devil horns, while being surrounded by female dancers in red robes that seemed like something out of The Ring. Kim was dancing in a cage, getting flanked by some dominatrices wearing satanic headgear. There were massive flames heating up the stage to evoke the image of hell. But what really got people angry was the fact that the performance was sponsored by Pfizer. After the ceremony, conservatives on Twitter reacted with horror because they believed it was an actual tribute to Satan. Senator Ted Cruz weighed in on the performance and said, "This is evil, and Pfizer is taking the whole truth in advertising thing pretty literally." Newsmax's Benny Johnson said, "The Grammys have gone full-on Satan worship right on Prime TV." But sadly, the backlash against the singer shows no signs of slowing down. Just yesterday, they got misgendered on a talk show and made some comments that seemed to set everyone off. While appearing on a BBC program, Sam revealed that they had a secret fishing hobby that they would like to pursue after leaving the stage. They said, "One day I'd just like to end my days fishing, like sitting on a bank." But when the presenter asked them if they would like to be a fly fisherman, Sam corrected her and said, "Yeah, I'd love to be a fisher them." Naturally, the interview quickly prompted a reaction on Twitter, with many users calling them out. So it seems like no matter what Sam says or does, people have taken a massive issue with their gender expression, and it's now reached the point where it's straight up bullying. And lastly, let's talk about the Kanye West police incident. The rapper filed a complaint against paparazzi after they followed him and challenged him to a fight. A spokesperson for the LA County Sheriff's Office said that Kanye was contacted by photographers as he left Sunset Boulevard on Tuesday. Apparently, he asked the paparazzi to stop recording him and his family. When the request was ignored, the paparazzi then got into a verbal argument with him, and apparently they challenged him to a fight. After that, Ye and the people he was hanging out with at the time went to the sheriff's station to request their assistance. At that point, a criminal report was created, and there is now an active investigation into the incident. This is far from the first time Kanye has had issues with paparazzi and people filming him. In January, he was named as a suspect in a police investigation after he was captured confronting a woman who was filming him from her car. In the video, he could be heard saying, "If I want to go see my son at a game, y'all ain't gonna run up on me like that. If I say stop, stop with your cameras." He then grabbed her phone and threw it across the street. In a separate paparazzi incident that exact same day, Kanye pulled up alongside a male fan and asked him to stop taking photos when he was trying to spend quality time with his children. He was at his kid's basketball game, but they were on a public street. In the video, he could be heard saying, "You want me to be running up on your kids' games like that? Everyone's gotta stop when I see my kids. I don't care how many of you there are. You wanna hear what I want you to do? I need to see my kids without you photographing me. It's called human rights." In August of 2022, Ye was involved in a separate incident where he allegedly punched a man who asked him for an autograph, and so the list goes on and on. Although the rapper has been laying low over the past couple of weeks, BBC has just announced that they're currently working on a documentary and an 8-part podcast exploring his life. It's supposed to be called We Need to Talk About Kanye, where he will be confronted by investigative journalist Mabeen Azad Azar, who also led BBC's documentary on Britney Spears. We don't know a lot about the new project, but what we do know is that it'll be set against the backdrop of his 2024 presidential campaign, and at a time when his anti-Semitic rantings have marked his downfall. In a recent interview, he was accompanied by far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos, who he referred to as his campaign manager, which unsurprisingly was not a popular decision. This new documentary follows Azar as he attempts to understand the complex journey that led the world to reassess Kanye's place in popular culture, which will be very extensive, considering the fact that his success has always been accompanied by condemnation and notoriety. An 8-part podcast series called The Kanye Story will also be released along with the documentary, and is set to focus a lot more on his blatant anti-Semitism. Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about Megan Fox's response to the cheating rumors, the reason Alec Baldwin's charges have been dropped, and why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are suing South Park. First up, Megan Fox has returned to Instagram, and she's finally addressed the cheating rumors in her relationship with Machine Gun Kelly. She reinstated her account on Sunday, only to post a message blaming the media for the whole misunderstanding. She wrote, "There has been no third-party interference in this relationship of any kind. That includes but is not limited to actual humans, DMs, AI bots, or succubus demons. While I do hate to rob you of running random baseless news stories that would have much more accurately been written by ChatGPT, you need to let the story die and leave all of these innocent people alone now." By innocent people, she's clearly referring to the other woman who got caught up in the scandal, MGK's guitarist Sophie Lloyd. In the comment section of Sophie's latest Instagram post, Megan left a lengthy comment calling out the way that the hurtful affair accusations have spiraled. She wrote, "How me making a joke in order to absolve this girl of a hurtful accusation somehow turned into a confirmation of it I will never understand." She went on to say, "Why are people so dumb? Sophie, you are insanely talented. Welcome to Hollywood. Your first unwarranted PR disaster. You have now been baptized by the flames of fame. It only gets worse from here, unfortunately. Just ignore it as much as you can, middle finger up." In response, Sophie left a comment saying that the internet is wild. Last week, the speculation got so bad that her management team had to step in and release a statement defending her from all the online hatred. They wrote, "Sophie Lloyd is a professional, accomplished musician who has needlessly been dragged into the media based on meritless accusations made by social media. Any suggestion that she's ever acted in an unprofessional manner or stepped out of her relationship are untrue." In case you're wondering where the rumors came from, it has a lot to do with what Megan originally posted on Instagram. She shared a video of a burning envelope with the caption, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath." The lyrics are from Beyonce's song Pray You Catch Me on Lemonade, which is an album that is notoriously about Jay-Z having cheated on her. And if that didn't send a clear enough message, Megan also deleted all photos of MGK from her page, and she unfollowed him. But despite her latest statement, there's still reason to believe that things aren't quite back to normal between the couple. An inside source spoke to People magazine and revealed that the two of them are still not in a good place. They went on to provide some extra context to her recent post and suggested that she was trying to backtrack on all of the messiness. They said she's now posted that there was no cheating, but she initially thought there was and now is backtracking a bit. She was definitely hinting at infidelity with her first post. She regrets making it also public, but was really upset in the moment. They went on to say that Megan and MGK's relationship is crazy and intense, but it wouldn't be shocking if they were back together completely by the end of the week. Things took a turn again last Friday when Page Six published reports that the cause of their argument had been a series of suspicious DMs and text messages that Megan found on MGK's phone, leading her to believe that he's been having an affair. According to an inside source, they are broken up, but Megan is seeing where they stand. She wants to see what they can salvage, while MGK really wants to make up. Last week, the couple looked visibly upset as they left a marriage counseling office in California. Megan appeared emotional as she wiped her eyes with her hand while leaving the building, and MGK followed closely behind her. The two of them were seen talking to one another as they walked into the car park before they left in separate cars. So regardless of whether or not there's been infidelity, it seems like their relationship is really being put to the test. They're usually the king and queen of over-the-top PDA, especially when it comes to social media. Megan once posted a photo with the two of them on Instagram, and the caption was hilarious. She described their relationship as two outcasts and star-crossed lovers caught in the throes of a torrid solar flare of a romance, featuring things like feverish obsession, shamans, lots of blood, tantric night terrors, binding rituals, and even organic smoothies. So a lot of their social media posts read like fan fiction. In October of 2021, the couple spoke to GQ, and the interview was filled with insane quotes. MGK said, "Even our first kiss, she wouldn't kiss me. We just put our lips right in front of each other and breathed each other's breath." For her part, Megan said, "It's ecstasy and agony for sure. I don't want people to think anything's perfect with us. I didn't say it was the darkest fairy tale for no reason. There's also the demonic side. These kinds of statements are the reason why people say they give off high school band kids after 1 week of dating vibes. Yes, it might be cringy, but it usually means they're in a good place in their relationship. So when that suddenly stops, it's easy to see why people think they've broken up. Now, there's no telling whether or not they'll start posting each other again, but if that does happen, it's obviously a sign that they've patched things up. Next up, Alec Baldwin has just been handed a major legal victory in the Rust case. The actor has had his manslaughter charges reduced after a New Mexico district attorney dropped the enhancement charges over the death of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. This is an undeniable win for Alec and something that his attorneys fought hard for, considering that he would have been facing up to 6.5 years in prison, which has now been reduced to a maximum of 18 months if he's found guilty. So why was the charge removed? Well, it's because that particular enhancement did not actually become law until May of 2022, a full 7 months after Halyna was killed, so it was not in place at the time of the incident. Alec's attorney Luke Nykus has pushed back aggressively over the charges and accused prosecutors of committing a basic legal error by including the enhancement. In response, a spokeswoman for the Santa Fe District Attorney released a statement saying the prosecution's priority is securing justice, not securing billable hours for big city attorneys. So obviously they want to make it clear that that doesn't mean that they'll be backing down. But Alec's lawyer is really putting up a fight. He's even tried to have special prosecutor Andrea Reeb removed from the case by arguing that her position as an elected New Mexico state lawmaker should prohibit her from holding any authority in a judicial capacity. Nykus filed a motion to disqualify her and said that she is not constitutionally permitted to serve both as a legislator and as a special prosecutor, according to the New Mexico Constitution. But the case took a shocking turn when prosecutors claimed that Alec missed firearm training before filming the movie. Apparently he failed to attend a session on handling firearms. Then after that, a private hour-long session was scheduled for him, but it ended up only being 30 minutes in length because he was distracted and talking on his cell phone during the training. And even though Alec insisted that he did not pull the trigger on the weapon, the FBI later tested the firearm and concluded that it would not have fired if someone hadn't pulled the trigger. Prosecutors also argued that because he was one of the producers of the film, and not just an actor, he was responsible for hiring Hannah, who turned out to be inexperienced and unqualified to be working with so many firearms. Things got even worse for the actor last week when the parents and sister of Halyna Hutchins filed a new lawsuit against him and others involved in the film. The filing alleges battery, negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and loss of consortium. The family's lawyer released a statement saying they will not be able to enjoy life in the same way as they did when their precious Halyna was alive, and Halyna was a light in their lives. Both her sister and her mother, who live in Ukraine, made a short video where they addressed their decision. In the clip, Svetlana Zemko said, "To lose my sister was a horrible experience and is one of the biggest losses of my life. And even more devastating is to see the utter suffering of our parents and how their health has sharply declined. I believe to let this go and to leave this unpunished is unallowable." Sadly, it turns out that Halyna also provided financial support for her family members back in the Ukraine. So that adds another layer to the tragedy that they have already suffered with her passing. And now, have you guys seen the new South Park episode poking fun at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Well, apparently they didn't think it was funny and now they might be suing. Last week, the adult animated series set its sights on the royal couple in a new episode called The Worldwide Privacy Tour. South Park begins with a disclaimer reading, "All characters and events in this show, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. While their names are not specifically mentioned, the character designs make it quite obvious who they are depicting. There is a red-headed prince and his wife who wears an outfit that is very similar to one that Meghan has worn in the past. At one point during the episode, the prince and his wife make an appearance on the talk show Good Morning Canada, and they walk in holding signs demanding privacy. They then sit down to discuss the prince's new book called Where, which is clearly a reference to Harry's memoir Spare. During the talk show conversation, the host says, "Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?" Well, I just think that some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. In response, Harry's character says, "How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy." The episode is packed with so many great jokes just like that, along with thinly veiled references to the couple's real life. But more than anything, the writers ruthlessly call out Harry and Meghan in the classic South Park style. After the couple decide to move to South Park, Meghan is shown saying, "If we moved here, people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal." But when they finally get there, they ended up doing things that draw even more attention to them, like landing a private jet in the middle of a street and going on talk shows. Later on, the characters also embark on a We Want Privacy tour, and they look look into hiring a branding manager who labels Meghan as a sorority girl, actress, influencer, and victim. After the privacy tour, Harry changes his mind and says trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We can live a normal life. But when he leaves, Meghan is shown to be remaining on the tour alone because obviously she can't give up the spotlight. According to The Spectator, sources are now claiming that the Duchess was left upset and overwhelmed by the episode, which many viewers have agreed was a particularly brutal takedown of the couple. And apparently she completely refuses to watch it and simply doesn't think that South Park is funny. But most people can agree that the writers Trey Parker and Matt Stone have always taken aim at controversial public figures like Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Mel Gibson. But that obviously is not enough to stop Meghan and Harry from hitting back. Royal commentator Neil Sean has said that there could be legal ramifications due to the parody. He claimed that Harry and Meghan's legal team are casting an eye over the episode to see what is wrong and what could be turned into something more sinister. Although it's worth noting that the makers of South Park have not yet received any legal correspondence from the couple. It's also been rumored that they knew of the episode for quite some time and they desperately tried calling the producers in an attempt to have it blocked. But clearly that didn't work out at all. So how are people responding to this drama? Well, this tweet sums it up pretty well. Someone wrote, "The fact that Meghan and Harry are going after South Park, an American show that roasts everybody, tells you everything you need to know about them. South Park hurt their little feelings and now they want blood. Please go back to England and leave us alone. Hashtag dumb prince, stupid wife." So it's pretty clear that the royals have absolutely no influence over the show.
Hey guys, in this video we're gonna go over Avril Lavigne's dumping Mod Sun for Tyga, Britney Spears' crazy videos, and Will Smith joking about slapping Chris Rock. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about Avril Lavigne breaking off her engagement to Mod Sun and apparently moving on quickly to Tyga. The two have broken up almost a year since they announced their engagement. A source revealed that the couple have been on and off for the past 2 months, but are no longer together as a couple. But it seems like not everybody was in on this news. A rep for Mod Sun shared to Billboard on Tuesday that they were together and engaged as of 3 days ago when Mod Sun left for tour. So if anything has changed, that's news to him. So far, neither Avril or Mod have made a public comment about the current status of their relationship. This comes as a surprise to fans of Mod, who've only just recently shared his love for his fiance. He said, "I have found such a partner in this world to go through the chaos that life gives you. I have found that person. I'm with a real grown woman who has gone through it all 10 times over, and she makes me a better person." This news hasn't made Mod Sun affect his current tour, who still has quite a few concert dates left. When Avril talked about Mod Sun also not too long ago, she said, "I knew we had a very strong connection, unstoppable connection, from the first week of writing and working together in the studio. Immediately, he made every day better. It was like I had known him forever. As time went on, things just kept getting better, and it felt incredibly natural." But as it seems, Avril's mind has changed since then. After 3 years with her boyfriend Mod, Avril seemed to find comfort in Tyga. But could this be something more than friendship? Avril was seen embracing the rapper Tyga in a parking lot just outside one of LA's most famous restaurants, Nobu. The two reportedly had a very intimate dinner where they definitely got very comfortable with each other after they were spotted leaving together in the same car. A source has reported that the two have been seen hanging out together a lot more frequently, but they have yet to confirm if this is romantic or not. This is all pretty shocking to fans, as Avril and Mod Sun were just seen together at the Grammys earlier this month, and they appeared to be quite happy together. These photos emerging seem to be the reason for Avril's rep to go forward by confirming to the media that she is no longer engaged. Considering she was spotted with Tyga just a day before the announcement, makes it clear she wanted to take control of the speculation. Tyga has yet to address the speculation that TMZ has come forward, saying the two are just very good friends, who have been for a long time, and it's nothing romantic. A source also added saying, "Avril and Tyga are genuinely friends and nothing more. There is absolutely no third party involved in the split. This comes in regards to the current infidelity rumors." So far, neither Mod Sun or Avril have let on to anything being different on their social media. With Mod still posting videos from his tour, it's hard to know exactly which way this is gonna go. Next, we have to talk about Britney Spears' unnerving Instagram Instagram videos. If you follow her on Instagram, you know she posts quite frequently. She posts anything from photos she finds on the internet that she connects with, videos of her dancing, or throwbacks, which all sound like they would be normal enough, but there's definitely something strange in her Instagram which leaves a lot of fans, as well as celebrities, very worried. She has turned off her comments, but this hasn't stopped the world from talking about her. On Tuesday though, these videos seemed to really take a turn, leaving many confused and concerned as speculation started rolling through. Britney took to Instagram to post a very animated and bizarre video. She discusses fashion, then it turns to telling fans not to call the cops if she deletes her Instagram. This video is just under a minute long, but through it, she switches through a couple different accents, sounding semi-Australian and British with blinks of what seemed to be her normal voice. It's definitely very strange. The video starts with the singer telling fans about a dress she made that her friend helped her sew. This quickly changes though, as she talks about how this dress was shipped to her from a company, without saying which one. She poses with the dress in front of her without putting it on, and moves forward to the camera then back again a few times. She then shifts back to talking about shutting down her Instagram. This comes from the time when Britney shut down her Instagram back in January. This had fans so concerned they ended up contacting the authorities to do a wellness check on the singer at the time. She later revealed she switched off comments prior due to the comments she was continuously getting on her posts. When she brought back her Instagram, Britney wrote, "I took down my Instagram because there was too many people saying I looked like an idiot dancing and that I looked crazy. Honestly, I was doing my best, but it disturbed me to see people freely talking about me on TV. It hurt my feelings. I'm sensitive and I would rather take a break and do my ice cream diet instead." In this recent video, she refocuses on this story and says, "So guys, I just want to let you know if I shut down my Instagram, do not call the cops." This clip then cuts out to Britney running in and out of the frame while still holding the dress, saying, "Don't ever be a roller coaster." The video ends with another clip of her running past the camera saying, "Never be a roller coaster." As these concerns about Britney continue, those who are closest to her have become increasingly worried about her behavior. Reportedly, they are even planning an intervention to get her help for both her mental health struggles and on how she's been allegedly under the influence. This intervention was called off by someone on Britney's team. TMZ asked Britney's attorney why was it called off just a week ago and who made the call, but he remained silent. The singer has told the press that Britney is taking medications that hype her up, and she's been flying off the handle. Throughout the week, even saying how she is afraid she's going to pass away. Fans responding to the video on Twitter are also very nervous, with one user writing, "Britney Spears just posted this on her Instagram and it's the scariest thing I've ever watched." As well as another writing, "I rarely go on Instagram, but this was the first thing I saw. Is she using an Australian accent? With lots of cuts and repeat movement? Why does she look to the left so often? I'm concerned." Others believe she could be currently going through a manic episode. One worried fan writes, "I've just seen Britney Spears' video going around, and from a man who watched his mother suffer, my whole life, she needs medical help quickly. Not encouraging and exploiting." Not only was this video itself worrying, but her caption left everyone with some questions. She wrote, "Stay humble out there all. Hi mommy, hi daddy, I am a star now, have you heard? Carry on, peeps." The video has been saved many times as it circles around Twitter in fear that it'll be deleted by either someone close to her or herself. Britney and her husband, as well as her manager, were all seen at the restaurant Nobu for dinner Sunday night, where she did appear to be fine. But we are still unaware when this disturbing video posted on Tuesday was actually recorded. Lastly, let's get into Will Smith joking about the notorious Oscar slap back in 2022. Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, which has been known to be called Slapgate or just the slap, was definitely an unexpected thing to see at that year's awards. This happened back in March of last year when Will walked on stage and slapped the comedian Chris across the face. This was in response to Chris's joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada, and her shaved head. Jada has been shaving her head since 2021 due to having alopecia, causing loss in hair. After the slap, he returned to his seat, shouting at Chris to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. Awkwardly, he later ended up winning Best Actor. He apologized in his speech to the Academy and to the other nominees, but never to Chris. Of course, winning this award should have been a magical night, but it did really alter his career. Even after going on a big tour to apologize, he said in the press tour, "You just don't know what's going on with people." and I was going through something that night. Not that it justifies that behavior at all. The whole incident resulted in Will being banned from the Oscars, as well as other award shows for the next 10 years. In a statement, the Academy said that the Oscars have been overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. When talking about his outburst on The Daily Show, Will explains what might have contributed to him slapping Chris that night. He says, "It was a lot of things. It was a little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. All of that just bubbled up in that moment, but that's not what I want to be." After his popularity made a dramatic drop since the incident, most were wondering how he was planning on making a comeback after this, especially since many professionals who vote in the Academy agreed that they would never vote anything Will Smith related again. Recently though, the star has managed to gain a few fans back on his side by fully embracing his classic goofball energy in a TikTok video. For some, all it takes is a well-timed, self-deprecating joke to forgive, and luckily enough, Will did a pretty good job at that. In the video, it shows Will listening to a video duetting another TikTok creator. The TikTok creator is giving suggestions about how to make your life more interesting and fun by asking inanimate objects how they feel about you. The creator says, "It sounds insane, but it will change your life. Did you know that you can pick any object, look at it, and ask what it thinks of you?" Continuing by saying, for example, you can pick up a pen and ask how it sees you or what it thinks of you, and you'll get an answer in your mind from your intuition. After this, Will looks to the side and reaches for his Best Actor Oscar award that he won the night of the slap. He looks at the award, appearing confused and as if he wants to say something, but doesn't know what. Looking awkwardly lost, the video cuts out. The joke seemed to earn him some praise, which is great to hear for his PR team, as they want the movie Bad Boys 4 to do well, of course. One TikTok user wrote on the video, "I love Will. He's human like the rest of us. This life we live is so much broader than a moment of questionable behavior." Another joked, referring to the duet, "Oscar, what have you learned?" Others just responded by telling Will, "Welcome back," and this is a 10 out of 10 response. For Will, it seems at the end of the day, you just don't really need words to say what you're thinking.
How's it going, Io? In this video, we're going to talk about why Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber have turned against Selena Gomez, how this year's Oscars are going to prepare for another Will Smith incident, and the embarrassing moment that Machine Gun Kelly was snubbed by a designer. First up, why are people saying that Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber dissed Selena Gomez? The two of them received immense backlash online on Tuesday when Kylie posted a screenshot from a FaceTime call with Hailey. The reality star shared Instagram videos and pictures of her eyebrows and said that she accidentally laminated her eyebrows too much. Some fans took this as an attempt to mock Selena, who had recently made a post saying that she had laminated her eyebrows too much, all in an attempt to emulate Bella Hadid's look. TikTok users then started accusing Kylie and Hailey of making fun of Selena with their post. Several fans felt that they were acting like mean girls and that they were trying to bully Selena. One user wrote, "Kylie and Hailey are giving high school vibes." And for those saying it was an accidental selfie posted, come on, the billionaire marketer doesn't accidentally post anything. Some people also suggested that Kylie was throwing shade at Selena because Selena is close to having more followers than her on Instagram. In fact, that has already happened. Currently, Kylie has 380 million followers, while Selena has 381. But the reality star has since set the record straight on the possible feud. The 25-year-old called the rumors silly in a TikTok comment on Wednesday. She wrote, "This is reaching. No shade towards Selena ever, and I didn't see her eyebrows post. You guys are making something out of nothing." In response, Selena just wrote, "Agreed. It's all unnecessary. I'm a fan of Kylie." Although Hailey has stayed silent on this most recent scandal, back in September she debunked rumors of a feud on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She told listeners that the two of them have only respect and love for each other. She also hit back at the long-running theory that Justin Bieber cheated on Selena to be with her. When she got back together with Justin in June of 2018, Hailey insisted that he and Selena were not in a relationship at the time. She spoke about their brief reunion and claimed by that point it was just closure for them. She said, "As a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them and be getting married to them and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed." She went on to say, "It was the right thing for them to close that door. It closed a chapter. I think it was the best thing that could have happened for him to move on." She said that a lot of the hate that she gets comes from the perception that she stole Justin. Hailey also insisted that they are the only people who really know the truth of the situation and what the timeline really was. To this day though, the exact timeline is still being debated, considering that many fans still think Selena and Justin were actually in a relationship when they got back together in 2018. But of course, only they really know the truth. While on that same podcast, Hailey also addressed all the hate that she's been getting from Selena's fans. fans. She was asked if Justin or anyone in their circle has ever asked Selena to try and put an end to all the hatred. In response, she said that she had no expectation whatsoever of Selena doing that, but if that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing. She also recalled the moment that fans stood outside the Met Gala in 2021 and screamed Selena's name while she and Justin walked the red carpet. Hailey said, "Yeah, I could hear everyone screaming. I think there's a certain part of you that has a numbness. It was disrespectful to me, to my relationship. It just was, period, the end. But I think I've endured so much disrespect, and I still do to this day, that there was a part of me that was just like, another day, another negative slave." Hailey then hopped onto TikTok to issue a direct message to people trolling her on social media. She said, "Leave me alone at this point. I'm minding my business. I don't do anything, I don't say anything. Leave me alone, please. That's my only request. Be miserable somewhere else, please." So it's really sad that even in 2023, she is still having to deal with an overwhelming amount of hate from Selena supporters. Now, let's talk about the insane way that the Oscars are going to try and prevent another slap from happening. The CEO of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences recently sat down with Time magazine, and he explained that they had implemented a new crisis team for the upcoming Oscars. Bill Kramer claimed that this was created in order to quickly navigate any potential real-time emergency. And yes, this new crisis team is a direct response to last year's event, where Will Smith infamously walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock across the face. Kramer said, "We have a whole crisis team, something we've never had before, and many plans in place. We've run many scenarios, so it's our hope that we will be prepared for anything that we may not anticipate right now, but that we're planning for just in case it does happen." He went on to say that because of what happened last year, they've opened their minds to many things that can happen at the Oscars. Quote, "These crisis plans allow us to say, this is the group that we have to gather very quickly. This is how we all come together. This is a spokesperson. This will be the statement. And obviously, depending on the specifics of the crisis, we already have frameworks in place that we can modify." The Academy's president, Jeanette Yang, also admitted that they totally dropped the ball by waiting too long to respond to the slap. She said, "I'm sure you all remember we experienced an unprecedented event at the Oscars. What happened on stage was fully unacceptable, and the response from our organization was inadequate. We learned from this that the Academy must be fully transparent and accountable in our actions, and particularly in times of crisis, you must act swiftly, compassionately, and decisively for ourselves and for our industry." Most people remember the shocking moment last year when Will walked up on stage and slapped Chris while he was presenting the Best Documentary Feature category. The comedian made a controversial joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's buzz cut, which was shaved after she was diagnosed with alopecia. After the slap, Will returned to his seat and repeatedly screamed at Chris, saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Although people in the audience were extremely caught off guard by the incident, the ceremony continued after the actor sat back down in his seat. Later on, he would go on to win Best Actor for his performance in King Richard, but ultimately his actions that night caused him to become the center of controversy. Will eventually resigned from the Academy on April the 1st and released a statement saying, "I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken." It took several more days for the Academy to announce that it was revoking his membership and banning him from attending the Oscars for the next 10 years. But over the past couple of months, Will has slowly returned to the spotlight, and clearly he's just trying to live down the incident that happened almost a year ago now. In late November, he spoke with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show, and the episode really got fans talking. Will described the slap as an explosion of anger that was years in the making, and he also seemed to particularly put the blame back on Chris Rock. He claimed that he has no independent recollection of the fight, but that he understands how shocking that was for people to see. He said, "I was gone, dude. That was a rage that had been bottled for a really long time. I understand the pain." When Noah speculates as to what caused his outburst, he says flat out that it stemmed from rage going back to his childhood. Quote, "It was a lot of things. It was a little boy that watched his father beat up his mother, you know? All of that just bubbled up in the moment. That's not who I want to be." Will also claimed that there were other things he was going through that night which no one knew about, and that's why he erupted in violence. He said, "That was a horrific night, and you can imagine. You know, there's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I just lost it, you know?" He then says, "You never know what someone's going through." At this point, Will makes a plea to the audience, telling them to be nice to each other, because you never know another person's troubles. To be fair, Will also made it clear that he didn't justify his behavior that night, but the whole thing still came off like a little bit of an excuse to some people, especially because when Trevor asked him what he learned from the incident, Will just says, "We gotta be nice to each other, man, you know? It's hard." Quote, "I've always wanted to be Superman. I've always wanted to swoop in and save the damsel in distress, and I had to humble down and realize that I'm a flawed human." And with that admission, we can see that Will has clearly done the work and realized realized why he reacted like that in the first place. And now, have you seen the cringy video that's been circulating of Machine Gun Kelly? The rapper was backstage at Rick Owens' fashion show in September, and a clip of him speaking to the designer has now gone viral because of how awkward it is. In the video, you can see MGK looking pretty nervous while approaching Rick. He then introduces him to his daughter and says, "I couldn't believe there was yellow in the show. I was like, F yeah." In response, Rick says that he's using pink in his collection to challenge himself, to which the rapper says, "Yes, good, it's amazing. My nickname is Mr. Pink." After a bit of an awkward pause, Rick says, "I didn't know that." And he makes it clear that he really has no idea who MGK is. In fact, he makes it so much worse when he attempts to explain how he got the nickname. He says, "That's what all my friends call me. They're like, my code name is Mr. Pink." Then out of nowhere, Rick abruptly cuts him off and says, "I think I have to go." The whole moment seems like something straight out of The Office. In the comment section of the video, it seems like everyone thought the exchange was both hilarious and uncomfortable. Many people pointed out that the designer couldn't wait to get away from him at the first opportunity, and he couldn't come up with a good excuse to do it. Someone wrote, "The opportunity to ask Rick any question or tell him anything you wanted to say presents itself, and you tell him your name is Mr. Pink?" While that might seem a little harsh considering that he was likely just very nervous, it seems like more and more fans are becoming critical of MGK's behavior these days. What I'm talking about, of course, is the rumors that he cheated on Megan Fox. After some time away, the actress finally returned to social media to address the speculation. She wrote, "There has been no third-party interference in this relationship of any kind. That includes, but is not limited to, actual humans, DMs, AI bots, or succubus demons. While I do hate to rob you of running random baseless news stories that would have been much more accurately written by ChatGPT, you need to let this story die and leave all of these innocent people alone now." In case you're wondering, Megan was referring to Sophie Lloyd, who's also gotten caught up in the scandal. In the comment section of Sophie's latest post, Megan wrote, "How me making a joke in order to absolve this girl of a hurtful accusation somehow turned into a confirmation of it, I will never understand." She went on to say, "Why are people so dumb? Sophie, you are insanely talented. Welcome to Hollywood. Your first unwarranted PR disaster. You've now been baptized by the flames of fame. It only gets worse from here, unfortunately. Just ignore it as much as you can. Middle finger up." In response, Sophie just left a comment saying that the internet is wild. But despite her latest statement, there's still reason to believe that things aren't quite back to normal between the couple. An inside source spoke to People magazine and revealed that Meghan and MGK are still not in a good place. They suggested that there are still problems within their relationship, like major trust issues. So clearly they have a lot of work to do in order to get through those problems together. Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about Selena Gomez finally hitting back at Hailey Bieber, Rihanna's Oscar surprise, and Hailey Bailey opening up about the racist backlash for The Little Mermaid. First up, it looks like Selena Gomez is finally hitting back at Hailey Bieber. After a video resurfaced of Hailey in 2017 when she was a host on Drop the Mic, her co-host Method Man said that the next battle would be full of the meanest lyrics about a celebrity since Taylor Swift's last album. Then the camera cuts to Hailey, who points a finger at her mouth and pretends to gag at the mention of Taylor Swift's name. Selena actually left a comment under this video saying, "So sorry, my best friend is and continues to be one of the best in the game." So for whatever reason, it seems like Selena has finally reached the point where she's sick of Hailey's behavior and she has no problem letting everyone know it. And there's more. On a second TikTok, she expressed her gratitude for her fans sharing her sympathy for everything that she's had to endure publicly, including watching Justin marry Hailey so quickly after their 10-year relationship ended in 2018. The TikTok user listed out everything she's gone through and said, "Does anyone else feel really bad for Selena Gomez? Like, can you imagine going through a breakup so publicly with a guy that you were in love with for like 7 years and then like 2 months later he just marries someone?" In response, Selena commented under the video saying, "That made me cry, thank you." Hailey and Justin, who recently celebrated 4 years of marriage, got together after Justin and Selena had broken off their relationship in June of 2018. Hailey and Justin then started dating shortly after. They got engaged a month later and were married by September. So even though Hailey swears that there was no overlap whatsoever and that Selena and Justin were not actually in a relationship when they got back together, the timeline has always been shady. And on a third TikTok, a fan said that she was officially supporting Selena after all the mean girl bullying that she's now getting from Kylie Jenner and Hailey, who seem like they've almost teamed up against her. The post called out the two women as mean girls and nepo babies and criticized their behavior. Selena clearly agreed with that fan because she just commented, "I love you" under the video. But where did the whole mean girl thing come from? Well, a few days ago, the singer made a post saying, "I accidentally laminated my eyebrows too much." In what looked like a response, Kylie posted a close-up photo of her and Hailey's eyebrows with a caption, "This was an accident." Some fans took this as an attempt to mock Selena and called them out for bullying her. One user wrote, "Kylie and Hailey are giving off high school vibes." And for those saying it was an accidental selfie posted, come on, the billionaire marketer doesn't accidentally post anything. But Kylie has since set the record straight on the possible feud. The 25-year-old called the rumors silly in a TikTok comment on Wednesday. She wrote, "This is reaching. No shade towards Selena ever, and I didn't see her eyebrows post. You guys are making something out of nothing." In response, Selena just wrote, "Agreed. It's all unnecessary. I'm a fan of Kylie." But clearly this kind of back and forth is something that she just doesn't want to be a part of. Despite the fact that she just overtook Kylie as the most followed woman on Instagram, Selena has decided to take a break from social media. She posted a picture of herself and wrote, "I'm very happy. I'm so blessed. I have the best friends, the best fans in the whole world, and I just couldn't be happier. And I'm good. I love the way I am. I don't care. I'm big. I'm not. I don't care. I love who I am. And yeah, I'm gonna be taking a second from social media because this is a little silly. I'm 30. I'm too old for this." She then went on to also delete her TikTok account. In the comment section of her latest post, fans united in her defense. One user wrote, "So sad that you have to take a break from social media and delete your TikTok just because of these mean girls." In the midst of the drama, the internet seems to have picked sides already. While Selena's Instagram is flooded with supportive comments, Kylie and Hailey's are witnessing an opposite reaction. Fan reactions have also been sweeping across Twitter. One viral tweet said, "Hailey Bieber is such a pick-me girl. It's crazy, her and her little friend group of mean girls are always shading Selena Gomez when she literally has been married to Justin for like 4 years now. Like, girl, you got him, you won. Why are you so bothered?" But of course, there were also those people who felt that Selena was in the wrong. Someone tweeted, "How the F did Selena Gomez manage to get 5 women who were minding their business dragged to filth in the span of 4 days? Constantly playing victim, when you look close enough, she's the perpetrator each time. Sinister." So even though most people support Selena, not everyone is taking her side this time. Considering everything she said in the last 48 hours, do you think she's finally defending herself or creating something out of nothing? Next up, we have some amazing news for Rihanna fans. It's just been revealed that she's set to perform at this year's Oscars. The singer will be taking the stage at the 95th Academy Awards and performing her Oscar-nominated song Lift Me Up. So far, we already know that the event will be hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, and it will air live worldwide on Sunday the 12th of March. Lift Me Up was Rihanna's first song in nearly 7 years, and it's her first Oscar nomination. The track is featured on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack and serves as a tribute to the late actor Chadwick Boseman, who tragically died of colon cancer in August of 2020 at the age of 43. Thames, who co-wrote the track with Rihanna, released a statement saying, "After speaking with Ryan and hearing his direction for the film and the song, I wanted to write something that portrays a warm embrace from all the people I've lost in my life. I tried to imagine what it would feel like if I could sing to them now and express how much I miss them. Rihanna has been an inspiration to me, so hearing her convey the song is a great honor." Lift Me Up will be competing for the Best Original Song title against Lady Gaga, who is up for her 4th ever nomination for Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. Some of the other nominations for Best Original Song are Diane Warren for Applause from the movie Tell It Like a Woman, This Is a Life from Ryan Lott, Mitski and David Byrne from the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. Earlier this month, Rihanna dazzled at the Super Bowl halftime show, where she also publicly revealed her second pregnancy with A$AP Rocky. The 13-minute performance was spectacular. She didn't seem to miss a beat as she cycled through a medley of her greatest hits from Umbrella to Work in just 13 minutes. But the performance was not without controversy. Former President Donald Trump called her out and said, "Epic fail." Rihanna gave, without question, the single worst halftime show in Super Bowl history. This after insulting far more than half of our nation, which is already in serious decline, with her foul and insulting language. His comments come just days after he publicly slammed her for having no talent ahead of her performance. And sadly, some viewers clearly agreed with him. The Federal Communications Commission received 103 complaints about the broadcast, and nearly all of them were about the halftime show. According to a TMZ report, many of the complaints said that Rihanna's lyrics and performance were way too sexualized. But given the fact that the singer was completely covered up in her red jumpsuit and her dancers were in their oversized puffy white tracksuits, that level of complaints seems a little bit confusing. Apparently, most of these issues were directed towards the background dancers. One person said, "This year the halftime show was so indecent I had to turn off the TV." Some viewers also said the dancers made gestures that were patently offensive and completely inappropriate for children. But thankfully, Rihanna's creative team aren't taking the complaints too seriously. Her choreographer Paris Gobel shared the news of the 100 complaints to her Instagram story, and she wrote, "Damn, only 100? To put it into perspective, in 2020, Shakira and J-Lo's performances got more than 1,300 complaints, while Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake's 2004 show got 540,000 complaints. And you can probably guess why. So So despite what Trump said, it's clear that Rihanna had way more supporters than haters. So could this upcoming Oscars performance mean that she's going to come out with new music? Well, we don't know for sure. She did say that she is now at a point where she wants to explore that possibility. She said, "I'm feeling open to exploring, discovering, creating things that are new, things that are different, things that are off or weird. Might not ever make sense to my fans. I want to have fun with music." This might even be an indicator that she's going to switch genres completely, but once again, we'll just have to wait to find out. And now Halle Bailey has finally addressed the insane backlash against The Little Mermaid. It seems that every time news breaks about Disney's remake of The Little Mermaid, it goes viral. But that hasn't always been a good thing, because a lot of the discourse surrounding the upcoming movie is fueled by racist backlash. Now, 22-year-old Halle has spoken up about the online vitriol that she's received for playing Ariel. In a new interview with The Face magazine, she said, quote, "As a black person, you just expect it, and it's not really a shock anymore. I know people are like, it's not about race, but now that I'm her, people don't understand that when you're black, there's this whole other community. It's so important for us to see ourselves." Halle also credited The Little Mermaid filmmakers with allowing her authentic identity to be a part of this new adaptation, specifically her hair. She explained that a significant portion of prep time on set was actually devoted to analyzing how her hair moved in water. She said, "It was really cool for them to make Ariel a version of me with my locks." The actress goes on to credit Beyonce, who was a mentor to her and her sister Chloe. She shared the excellent advice that Beyonce gave her when she said, "Don't ever read the comments. That's a way to keep negativity at a distance." If you weren't familiar with her before, Halle has actually been in the public eye for more than a decade, as she and her older sister achieved global recognition for their covers of popular songs, which they began posting on YouTube when they were teenagers. After their take on Beyonce's Pretty Hurts went viral, the singer herself took the girls under her wing and got them signed to a deal under her Parkwood Entertainment label. Since then, they've opened for Beyonce and Jay-Z, starred in Ivy Park campaigns, and walked the runway for brands like Dolce & Gabbana. Now, Halle has been tasked with the revival of the iconic Disney princess for a whole new generation of movie fans. But this year's adaptation is going to be different in many ways. The original film had the overarching message that wasn't exactly what you would call feminist. Ariel literally relinquishes her voice and drastically changes her body for the man of her dreams. Halle said, "What's beautiful about this version of The Little Mermaid is that it's a lot more modern. When we saw it when we were younger, she gave up everything for the guy, but I don't think that reflects modern women today. So now it's more about Ariel finding freedom for herself because of the world that she's obsessed with." She says that in this new story, Prince Eric is more like a cherry on top, but it's not all about him. Now that sounds insanely promising, but along with Halle's new interview, The Face magazine also released a photo shoot, and that caused yet another wave of controversy. Fans have now accused the creative directors of intentionally trying to make the actress look bad with the choice of wardrobe. When the photos were shared on Twitter, they attracted comments like, "Whoever is the creative director for The Face magazine deserves jail time." Fans said that the photo shoot was trying to do Halle a disservice, and whoever was behind it had no idea what they were doing. In fact, there's a whole Reddit thread of people insisting that the photographers should be fired because of the way that she's styled. The pictures are definitely questionable, but some believe that it was straight up sabotage. Either way, this is just another example of the sheer amount of internet buzz that the movie has drawn since it was first announced in 2019. But before anyone jumps to any more conclusions, fans and critics alike will just have to wait until it comes out on the 26th of May.